I work in the data management division, and I work in the office of the director. We do everything from CalPads to monitoring, and like Renee mentioned, the California High-Speed Network. If you're not aware of it, California High-Speed Network takes about $10 million of state money, adds another $10 million of federal and other state money, so state budget, and connects all of our schools to the internet at a discount of probably almost 90%. And so we take a $10 million worth of money, turn it into $20 million. Almost 90% of our schools connect to the internet that way. And our claim to fame was last year during testing, 600,000 kids clicked next on their tests, and it didn't kill the network. So yeah, all of us who sit and wait, it happens. So it doesn't cost you guys anything at your school to connect to the internet. You don't pay a Comcast bill. And in case you're wondering, the network is actually paid for by these. E-rate's paid for by all of us with our cell phones. That started under Clinton and Gore. They started taxing all of our cell phones. If you look on your cell phone bill, you'll see a little line that says E-rate. And you're like, what's that going for? It's helping our schools. And it's quite a significant amount that really is pretty cool to see happen. And if you don't use E-rate, if you're not connected to the high-speed network, connect with me. Another side plug here for I would ask you is, if during testing time, or if at all any time, your kids are sitting waiting and it's going connect with us. Because there's actually a second set of money that's called the Broadband Infrastructure Improvement Grant Program, which was $77 million of state money, and there's money left with that, and that's to connect your school up if you don't have a good connection. And so it's like, hey, our school needs upgraded connection because we've got more one-to-one, we need more devices. It will take care of it for you. And so, so far we've got about 400 schools have been connected, but there's more money to spend. So again, if you're sitting there, and this is my call to you guys who are teachers, because we'll reach out to the CTOs, and it's a pride thing. They're like, yeah, our internet's fine. And they'll say, oh wait, we don't need it. And you'll talk to you guys, and you're like, yeah. Like the slideshow not moving or advancing here a minute ago for everybody. If that's happening, need more bandwidth. So hit us up and let's use that money up. I want to take some time and talk to you guys just a little bit, and it actually fits in really, really well as I was listening to all of your conversations earlier and all your report outs. I'm 51. I have a daughter who was born in 1994. You can do the math and see, yeah. This really hit me. 2040 is the closest to now as 1994 was. Life is moving along. If I think about technology and you think about the SAMR model, how many of us are living our lives still just down at the S model level of SAMR? Or how many of us are living up at the R model of our level of SAMR? Let's think about that for a second here. People say, what keeps me up late at night? And I think about it, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about assessment and about the dashboard and how all our schools are getting on lists and everything. But I want to take a step back before we go and say, okay, what really gets us? What level are we living at in the SAMR model in our personal lives? Last May, almost 2 years ago, me and a bunch of my friends were camping up near this covered bridge. Any of you familiar with Oregon Creek up north of Nevada City? Anybody been that? Anyone know where Nevada City is? Anyone know where Auburn is? Okay, so if you're going from here to here to Reno, you hit Auburn, head north on Highway 49, and you get up to this place up here. Point is, we were out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we were out there in the middle of nowhere. We were having a great time camping. As always happens up here, all of us in Northern California know. The state burns every summer. We just burn down. It's terrible. And they didn't want us to burn down the state, and now down the campground, so they're like, no open fires. There's a point here, so stick with me. No open fires. You can barbecue. I actually was cooking my steak, and my steak started to flame up, and instantly I had a ranger come on me. He's like, hey, you have a fire. I'm like, it's my steak in the barbecue. Back off, pal. But one of my friends that was there, found out that he could bring one of those propane fire pits. You guys know what those are? You know, you've seen those? It's like this little round propane circular metal thing, has these lava rocks in hooks to a tank. You turn it on and off, and you light it, right? Again, we're out here by this bridge. No internet connection, no nothing. But we're all like, man, this is really cool. We all had our cell phones with us because we're taking pictures and stuff. We had no internet connection, but we're, because you always have pictures you're doing. I took that picture. But we're like, man, this fire pit's amazing. I don't smell like smoke. That was my wife's comment. I can go in at night and I don't smell like smoke. She doesn't like campfire smoke. Other people are like, yeah, I don't have the allergies of smoke. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Okay. So May 28, we're camping, having a good time, talking about fire pits. Look what shows up in my mailbox 2 weeks later. I did not search fire pits. I did not go on the internet and search fire pits. Nobody in my family went on the internet and searched fire pits. Now, I had gone to Costco, used my Costco card, paid cash for a fire pit with my Costco card, but somehow Amazon, though, still says, hey, you want some fire pits? June 12, you might want a fire pit. Anybody else had this happen? You're like, just all of a sudden stuff shows up. No, I get it. If you're sitting there searching on the internet, I mean, this happens all the time. If you're sitting there searching on the internet for something, all of a sudden the Amazon feeds, but because you're on the internet. I wasn't on the internet. I was disconnected. But somehow my phone sat and listened and was tracking, and Amazon 2 weeks later, it took them 2 weeks, said, hey, you might be interested in fire pits. SAMR model. What level of marketing is that? Are we still down in substitution there, or they got some serious redefinition going on? Right? In our personal lives, anybody familiar with this guy? Some HQ down there. Tell me what's HQ. Someone stand. Whoever plays HQ, tell us real quick what HQ is. Real loud. Real loud. And what do you have to give HQ to play the game? Just your phone number. You download the app, and they pay you money. How many grew up with a crush on Vanna White, or was I the only one? Sorry, I did. I'm a kid of the 80s. Wheel of Fortune, Alex Trebek. That's the way we used to watch game shows right now. Now we have HQ, asks us for a phone number. I've won a whole, you ready? How much, no, I don't know how much I won? And I've been playing for almost a year. Less. 49 cents. But here's the crazy thing. They can send 12 questions, multiple choice questions. There's an example one right here. Out to sometimes almost 1 million people. In 10 seconds, get 1 million people's answers back and score it and give you 49 cents when you're all done, when it's all said and finished. Think about the broadband and that churning circle in your classroom now and what's happening here. Think about their servers on their side, grabbing and do it. And they have this game. They also have one called, the newest one is HQ Words. Any of you guys like those word puzzle sort of ones? That one's harder because in 10 seconds you have to choose the right words. You don't just hit it and it'll do it. But HQ is changing it. Now they experienced their issues. They've had their growing pains. But again, SAMR model here. How is this the way we compare Vanna White and Pat Sajak with our entertainment to this? Is this substitution or redefinition? What do you think? Okay. How many people have gone to the bank recently and put your check in? How many people just take a picture of their check in and have it deposited? Right? Substitution, augmentation, modification, or redefinition here. Substitution, but think of this. I'm saving money. Here's the other thing. I'm putting real money in the bank. I'm saving money driving to the store, but I'm putting real money in the bank. Am I worried about security here? Should I be worried about my signature being stolen? Think about digital citizenship implications here. There's all sorts of things that go on here, right? But I don't even think about it. I snap a picture of my check. It goes into the bank. It's secure. It's safe. It's fine. My Kaiser app now. Most of us in public education, we still have Kaiser, right? Who has more stringent security and privacy laws, us in education or the folks in healthcare? Healthcare, right? They're probably the ones who have the most, even a little bit higher level than we have to deal with, and yet they figured out how to keep our information safe and secure and communicate with us. Pretty low level. I mean, that's probably in reality a mess when it comes to the things they do, but they figured out how to keep it secure. So they added that on. It's pretty cool. You add in the Internet of Things and all the things out there that have crept into our world. Anybody have the refrigerator that tells you if you need milk? Right? That could be hacked, right? I don't know why you'd want an app to tell you what's going on with your laundry, but you have that one. My wife's just like, do the laundry, Jeff. Any of you guys have the little robot things that vacuum the classroom? Anyone have them in your classroom yet? That'd be kind of cool because kids are messy, right? They have one of these actually just up the street in the state capitol park. It's a little mower. It's kind of cool. I walked by it the first time. I'm like, what's that? I was like, a little mower mows the lawn. It's all cool until it gets bigger. Look at that bottom one in the middle. What happens if somebody gets that and exploits that? That could do some damage, right? Cameras are everywhere. Your sprinklers can be controlled on the internet. Garage doors can be controlled on the internet. These get all the time, the cameras. That's the big thing that's going on right now is the cameras and how easy they are to hack. You spend $35, put a baby cam or a nanny cam in your house, and then it's like suddenly someone's accessing it and seeing it in your house. That's kind of scary for people. Look that up. Any of you guys have the Alexas, the Google Homes, or Apple's thing? That's all just at home, right? Except for, have you guys seen this logo? Any of you guys have this logo? These guys came to talk to all of us at the state level. This is a company called Ask School Data. Serious. Ask School Data. They drive instructional results using artificial intelligence. They provide teachers with amazing simple access to student information using Amazon's Alexa. So I take, and there's their website. You can actually go on it and see it. But I take my Alexa here. I say, hey, Alexa, how's Jeff doing? It goes into the SIS and goes, well, hey, Jeff's attendance is this. Jeff's grades are this. Jeff's whatever's this. Amazon has now taken control over, and I'm like, is this secure? They're like, oh, yeah, it's secure. I'm like, okay. But they're coming out and talking to us. Right? And I asked them, I'm like, how are you making sure it's secure? They are like, it is. I promise. I'm like, okay. All of this, though, to say, you guys, things are changing. You look these. You've seen these internet minutes, 2017, 2018. There'll be 2019 here pretty soon. Things are just moving along. And yet, when I talk to you guys in a minute here about our assessment and accountability system and the new dashboard, what level are we at as a state? And I'm going to kind of like bag on us maybe or talk, be real. Where are we at with the state? The SBAC. What kind of assessment is the SBAC? Is it the same? You guys hit it. Isn't it the same multiple choice test that we all took? Who said multiple choice is the best pedagogical method to assess kids? Anybody? Everybody here is teachers or were a teacher, right? Right? How many of you guys could sit down in front of you with a group of kids and probably within 10 to 15 minutes, you could probably categorize and bucket your kids and go, okay, that kid's this kid's that, that's my smart kid, that's my introverted kid, oh, that kid's really smart, but they don't, and just start going, I'm going to have to work with this kid. We do it just as teachers, right? And it's not, we're not trying to be biased or anything, but you can read your kids. It's called reading your audience because you want to provide the best personalized support for the kids. Why can't our assessment be that way? And I'm not saying this for the first time because I asked our assessment people this very question the other day. I said, assessment. They're like, yeah, what? I said, our assessment system, are we thinking of anything other than just the good old multiple choice? They're like, what do you mean? I said, are we just thinking of, when's version 2.0 of the SBAC coming out? Like, what do you mean? I said, well, here's the thing. I could take this, and I could look at it and hit record, and I could tell you everything I know about Father Sarah in 4th grade, right? I could probably use an app like Flipgrid or something to capture that. And if Amazon can sell me a fire pit, I could probably find some sort of app that could take that and score that and norm it and tell me, yeah, this kid knows about Father Sarah. Again, Amazon can sell me a fire pit. I could do that. So I can see if the kid knows about Father Sarah. Well, what about math, you say? Well, aren't there some apps or isn't there some sort of whiteboard sort of thing where I could say, hey, do these multiple choice or multiplication question if that's the standard we're trying to do? And while you're doing it on this app, on this whiteboard, explain to me what you're doing. And if a kid can explain as they do, again, I could use Amazon can sell me a fire pit when I'm not connected to the internet. I could probably start to assess that. Throw in some sort of writing assignment, a writing sample. Does it take 15 pages to know if I know about a topic, or can I tell if a kid's faking me out in 1 page? What's harder to write, 15 pages or 1 paragraph? Honestly. Why, right? It's hard. If I say, tell me everything you know in 1 paragraph, 5 sentences or less, that takes forever. If I just say, tell me about Father Sarah, you have 5 pages. They write about all sorts of stuff. Any of you guys write, as you were writing that when you were in school, you get down in the middle somewhere and you're like, are you even reading this? And the teacher sometimes would circle and say yes, but the most of the time, they would just go whoosh, right on by. Right? And so, honestly, when it's all said and done, we've got to go to that next level of assessment. Really. And I don't know if the state and the federal government's going to do it. Honestly, I don't think really. If you're just asking me, this is Jeff. This is not the California Department of Education. Please don't quote me on this. I honestly don't think it's the state or the federal government's responsibility to do this. I think it's going to be education is going to figure this out. Some teacher's going to go, you know what? I'm playing your game. I'm doing your system. I'm doing it, but I'm going to record my kids on their face, and I'm going to show you that this is more normed, more predictive of their success in high school, or as good as predictive of their success in high school as something else. And then it'll grow from there. Maybe it'll be College Board. I don't know. Someone's going to figure this out, and then suddenly we're going to have a new assessment system or a new way to show, because assessment's bad. We'll have a new way to show that kids are ready because it's the way they are. Because here's the thing. This stuff is so powerful. Mobile devices are so powerful. Chromebooks are crazy powerful. I'm always amazed at what a Chromebook can do for so cheap. You're like, man, it has a camera on it. It has a whiteboard on it. Because that's the thing. I mean, you can't always do something on a small screen, but we could do so much more. So I am sorry to admit, when it comes to California and it comes to our assessment system nationwide, we're kind of stuck on the S level. Sorry. We're still just substituting the same assessment system that we all took. And, we've digitized it. That's what I always say. We digitized it, and we got to move it to the next level. So the only way we can go, and what I'm seeing you guys do this, is if we start to plan, and we start to think about this, and we come up with a new vision. And if you're not familiar with the Future Ready framework, if you're not familiar with what it is, it's what you guys are doing is you're planning. We're trying to implement planning and coming up with a new vision and coming up with new strategies, assessing and redefining it also, just like you guys do. And stay in our lane. John was talking last night about the new legislation and the resolution they did. We're trying to stay within our constraints. But it's not going to happen just by us. It's going to require you guys too. It's going to help you guys too. Your help is going to be needed. Now, I was asked to share you guys a little bit about the dashboard. Any of you guys familiar with the new dashboard? Again, sorry, it's just S level. They're pretty proud of some things here, so give them props on this. One of the things on the new dashboard was they decided that pie charts were not very thoughtful. So instead of a pie chart, they came up with this really new thing that makes everybody's school look like you're a, if you look up on the top right there, it looks like if your gas tank's full or not. So if you're pegged to the right, that's good. If you're on empty, that's bad. So just so you know, that's their latest new thing. They're pretty proud of this. I work with them. They did listen, which is good. I'll give them props for that. Props for that. They listened to feedback and went through. But on the dashboard, and if you haven't, because you want to understand, okay, how's my school doing? How's my district doing? You can go in and you can look and see how all the different metrics are. Some of these, unfortunately, like I said, are still just substitution level. Now, one thing I wanted to mention here, though, is you have all of these state indicators. And then you have these local indicators. Now, here's an opportunity I see. If you wanted to sneak some redefinition level assessment, redefinition level ways to show that how your students are doing, there's our chance. We can't do anything with this math and ELA and science right now because they are what they are. But maybe at the local level, you could put some of those indicators into your into your accountability system. One thing they're kind of proud of is as they look at, and this is one of the first times we're starting to see is the college/career indicator, is when you look at it, you can click right here and get details and see it without leaving. So you can see your details right on the spot, and it's kind of they're pretty proud of that part. I don't know. Anyways, you can drill down and see your student groups, so you can start to personalize the strategies to help those kids by whether they are at their subgroups, whether it's the demographics or by ethnicity or the other subgroups. You can also go into the performance level and see them at who's at what level and help identify strategies. Again, these are the ones that are the ELA and the math, which are at the state level. This would be your opportunity at your local level to put some things in. But all of that, now that we're 3 years into this and we have the new dashboard, we've got our list of schools now. You guys aware of that? And if you haven't gone to that, you can follow this link and you can see the list of schools. Now, here's the thing about that. It's like, oh man, we're on the list. Well, all of us are on the list, honestly. Oh man, we need some more support. Well, actually, that's a good thing, honestly. Because guess what comes along with that extra support? Resources, right? And here's the thing that's happening in Washington, D.C. right now, because everything else that's going on in Washington, D.C., I don't have the slide here, but I had a slide in another presentation I saw the other day, is they showed a picture of the Washington, D.C. Capitol, and at least till 2020, across the Capitol, it says permission granted. So at least until end of 2020, we have a way to take and do some innovative things and show that our kids are doing what? Now, if we're on this list here, that's a good thing because along with that comes some resources so that you can do some innovative things and you can add to that one-to-one. You can make those changes and you can do it. And for the next 2 years at least, permission is granted to be innovative, to show you're meeting the needs of the kids, to show the improvement. Maybe come up with some of those R-level assessment and assessment methods to share with them and see. So again, if you haven't checked that list out, take a look and see. To me, I think it's actually a good thing because it's actually money. Another good thing about it is when somebody does that, someone's mentioned strings here a minute, that means also someone has to come and see. And I don't know about you guys, I try to keep a pretty good, clean living room, me and my wife, but before someone comes over, I vacuum. I put stuff away. So it kind of forces me, I mean, I vacuum it and I can't, but it forces me to make sure, okay, I'm really leveling up. So I think that's a good thing too. There's the link and actually what the webpage looks like. You can see and read more about it. Now, I wanted to give you guys some other things here and just wrap this up here. And this kind of goes along with what John was talking about last night. There's a lot of stuff on our tables, on all of our plates, as we're thinking about nowadays. But it's really the same thing for all of us. We're all thinking about, these are all issues that all of us are thinking about. Keeping our information safe, keeping our students safe, protecting our resources the best we can. And there's some common themes, even what I was listening to you guys, and I'll just kind of tie this back to and make some of my comments of what I was hearing earlier. Getting your students engaged. Tech clubs, that's not a new thing, but that's a great, great thing. Back when I was in the classroom a while ago, I used to have this thing called the mouse squad, where I had my students do that, and they were always fixing it. They loved that. One of the coolest things about that, you guys, and I'll date myself, is I had one of my students who was in the mouse squad, who was my student tech. I ran into him in Denver this last September. Tell you how long it's been. He's been out of school now for 14 years. He went straight to work. For 13 years, he's been working for the same company doing tech support. For 13 years, though, he's worked for the same company doing tech support, has never gone into the office once. But he interfaces with the people who are on the tech side with the customers. He's worked from home. He worked in the Silicon Valley, then in Seattle, and now he's in Denver. He loves it. He got his start back when he was in my tech club. One of my tech kids. It's cool. A lot of you guys in San Bernardino people here, that was, I think I mentioned last year, that was my very first job as teaching, was down there. I've got 3 of my former students now have hit me up on Facebook. One of them's a student, a counselor, though, in Orange County. Actually, one of them's a special ed teacher at one of you guys' schools. You guys probably know her, Raylene, I don't remember what her last name is now. But special ed teacher. And then another one, sorry, he's a avid Mexican-American immigrant son who loves Trump. Sorry. But he found me on Facebook, and he's still doing it, and he's still surviving. My point is, you guys who are doing the thing, that getting your kids involved and engaging them, you're spot on. Trying to connect them with what they want to be, what they're next. I heard that happen a lot of you guys talking about that, connecting them. And we talk about maker spaces. We talk about what were some of the other things I heard you were talking about, maker spaces, engaging the parents, all those things, whatever you can do to make it relevant to your kids. And I was sharing actually yesterday, those were years of my teaching career where I honestly didn't know what I was doing. Your first 4 years of teaching, you're just holding on. And that would be my comment to you guys who are new and you have a bunch of new staff. Help them out. They may pretend like they know what's going on, but they're just holding on for dear life. They're just like, please, I don't want to mess up, And so encourage them and continue to work with them. But back to these here where I was talking about all the things, the issues that you see here, there's some common themes that you see throughout. One of them is PD. That's another thing I heard here, was professional development. And just when you think you got the PD done, who was the school that said you had 90% of your school was new? You guys was, and there was somebody else had a bunch of the new staff, right? What does that mean when you have 90% new? Start all over again, right? So you got to have those systems in place to support your teachers and do it. And that's actually some way I hope we can continue to help as a state. We're going to try to. I hope we can help. We'll see if we can. See how the state budget comes out. But you see PD is a common thing. Digital citizenship, that's another comment I heard up here. You guys talking about common sense. That's a great resource. They work with us a lot and provide some great resources. Another one, digital citizenship program I'm aware of. Mostly up here in this area. Any of you guys familiar with the I Can Help Desk, folks? Or I Delete Negativity? Okay, those are great people. They actually will help you when you get a incident. Someone I was hearing, that wasn't yesterday, it was yesterday in the leadership one, someone was talking about removing stuff off your Facebook and posts. They can actually remove stuff off of kids things. They can remove stuff off a system when an account is deleted because they have access to the actual companies. So I Can Help is another one, and they work closely with Common Sense on that too. So a lot of these topics here are topics I've heard you guys talk about. And honestly, when it's all said and done, it's stuff that's keeping you guys up at night because you care about kids. And so I want to close with this and just reinforce and just affirm what I heard today. You guys are doing the stuff. You're working it out. I'm hearing it, and I'm sure there's going to be some more here. I'm going to hear some more later on. Really, really good. And, like I said, I'm just a consultant in the office of the director. I work on the high-speed network. I love technology, so I do this sort of thing. But I want to affirm that you guys are doing what you're supposed to. You're doing a good job. And for what it matters, somebody at the state thinks you're doing a good job. I hope that that does matter, and you guys take it as that. If there's anything we can do, Renee was mentioned, I do answer the phone. I do answer the phone. On my cards and my cell phone, I'm one of those weird people that will answer a cell phone call if you call me. I might not answer you, but I will call you back. Because I truly believe that that's our job. That's one of those things that I think cell phones may be at an S level, but cell phones also can connect us on a redefinition level. Okay, they can connect us and they can flatten the world out. And I think that's really what this is all about, because you guys are flattening and getting connected on another level. And it also can connect us to the state. And we actually, the cool thing is I can connect with other states on this, because there's no reason why we can't learn from other states. So I wanted to be short and fairly concise. I hope I didn't go over on time, but I appreciate you guys having me here today. Okay, thank you.